how's it going? In today's lesson, we're gonna go over 3 classic songs that utilize chords but don't require strumming, which means you can play these awesome songs, get them sounding really good, but you won't get caught up in all the strumming and switching chords and all that stuff that happens all at the same time. So let's hop in. My name's Will Ripley. You're tuning in for Guitar Control. All right, so just before we hop in and get going, make sure to grab that PDF. You'll find that in the link below, and that will just get all the tabs, the chord charts, and just everything up in front of you. That will be super handy and easy to have. All right, so I hope you've been catching some of the lessons that I've been releasing here on the YouTube channel recently. The first video a few weeks back was single note riffs and the power of that. And then we upgraded those into power chords. And what we're gonna hop into here today is some classic songs that don't require strumming, because I think what a big mistake a lot of people make when they're first starting to play guitar and just getting going is they pick a song that has like a bar chord, a strum pattern, and they got to switch like 3 or 4 chords, and a lot of people kind of hit the dirt. They have no success with that. They get frustrated. They think they stink at guitar and they're super unmusical and all this kind of stuff. But I really believe that you got to follow this stairway to strumming to really experience some awesome results, especially from that ground zero. And you know what? Like, look, some people get lucky and they get on the fast track and stuff like that. But if you're like me, I was personally, still am, a slow learner. And so it's nice to have kind of like a pathway designed for you. And so that's exactly what I've done in my program, Stairway to Strumming, which, by the way, is on sale right now for over 50% off. You can find a link for that in the description and the comments below this video as well. So yeah, so like I said, grab that PDF, make sure you check out Stairway to Strumming. But yeah, this is kind of the idea. Now, a few weeks back, we talked about I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett, and we played it as a single note riff. And then in the second video, I talked about power chords and how, and then we upgraded that into power chords. Right, which of course sounds a lot more like the actual track. And in this lesson, the very first song that I want to show you is Wild Thing by the Troggs. We're going to play it kind of like Jimi Hendrix played it, and if you haven't checked out his cover, I think it's excellent. But what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of grab those exact same chords that we found in Joan Jett's I Love Rock and Roll, but we're going to kind of expand them into real deal full chords. But what's great about this is if you know the tune, it sounds like this. So what's awesome about that is that we don't have to worry about switching chords, complicated strum patterns, and all that kind of stuff. So what we're punching out here is an E major chord. We're punching out an A major chord. And then we're moving that up 2 frets. But what we really want to do is play that with the 3rd finger and play this major bar chord. However, if that's a little too tough for you, don't worry, you can still play that power chord that we found in I Love Rock and Roll. So I Love Rock and Roll is sounding, right? And we're utilizing those same chords in Wild Thing by the Troggs. Okay, so as you can see, 2 punches on each chord. I stop, and I'm just stopping that with my right hand. And then that gives me that split second there to switch to an A chord. And you'll see your A chord, by the way, played in a few different ways, different fingerings and stuff like that. They're all good, but I always opt for the 1-finger A. It's just so much faster to get to that chord, and it will have you banging out this song in no time. Okay? And like I said, the only really tricky one here is this B power chord, or the B major chord, okay? Which I'm barring my 3rd finger over top of the D, G, and B strings there, but a power chord works almost as well. It'll certainly get you that right sound. And then you go back down to the A, and back down to the E. So that's the cycle of that tune. you're singing along with me over there. But yeah, we got, then to switch to that bit, you just want to go 5th fret power chord on the A string to 7th fret power chord. And there's another way you can play it too. So that would just be open A string, open D string. Just on the A string and D string, that's it. So open, open, 2, open, 2. Right, so it sounds nice, and it actually sounds really good when you drop your low E string in there too, I'm just realizing. But yeah, so those are 2 versions on how to play that next bit. Wild thing, I think I love you, but I wanna know for sure. Excuse my singing, but you get it. Yeah, so I hope you're digging this approach here, because that's kind of the idea, which I think is a great segue into full-on strumming, full-on chords, because we got to learn our chords first. And what better way to practice our chords than, you know, punching them out and playing a classic song. So there's Wild Thing, there's the Troggs by the Troggs. We're kind of playing it more like Jimi Hendrix would have played it. And of course, grab that PDF so we could get all the chord charts for you and those tabs out for you. So let's go ahead and hop into the next track. This tune is Free Fallin' by Tom Petty. It sounds a little something like this. All right, so great tune. As you can see, I'm still just punching in chords, okay? One strum at a time. Strum, 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 strum. Okay, so that's the rhythm that you gotta get. Now let's figure out the chords. So what we're gonna start on is a classical D major chord. All I'm gonna do from here is add on my pinky finger to make it a D sus4. I punch that again. I drop that back down to D major. And actually a really super simple way to play this song is to just take off your second finger, which changes that D major into D sus2. So we'll have all those chords laid out for you with the names, but yeah, we got D major to D sus4, hit that D sus4 again, back down to the D major, and like I said, you could go to that D sus2, and it sounds a lot like the tune. However, Tom Petty and the boys would have gone to this A sus chord right here. Okay, and that's gonna look like that. So it's really that first part of that A major that we talked about in the Troggs, but we got first finger, second finger on the second frets of the D string, G string, and then up on the B string, we've got our third fret there. And you want to drop in that A string there. Okay? So that whole rhythm, the rhythmic sequence there sounds like this. 1, 2, ready, go. Cool, so it sounds really nice. And by the way, the original recording would have played that with a capo on the 3rd fret, okay? So you'd want to grab one of these guys right here, pop that on the 3rd fret, and that would get you in the original key. And also, bonus points if you can reach your thumb up and around to grab that low E string on the 2nd fret. When you go to the D sus4, bump that thumb up to the 3rd fret, and then back down. So, as you can hear, it just sounds really nice and full. Okay. And just a couple of really cool other ways that you can play this is by popping on the capo on the 1st fret, okay, which would again get you in the same key. But here's another way that you can do it, which is playing an E major, And it goes back to those I love rock and roll chords. And that's why I had to throw it into this lesson here, because we've already kind of talked about these chords. So we've got this E major, and this goes to an A sus2 here. But what I would do is, because you've got that E major chord right here, just bump your second and third fingers down a set of strings here. Okay? Because that's just side by side. As you can see, you don't need to like twist your fingers around to get a different finger placement. Okay? And again, hit that chord again. That's that second chord. Back to the E major. And then go up to a B power chord, just like we were doing in I Love Rock and Roll and the Troggs. But this one sounds really cool when you actually let the B string and the high E string ring out just like that. It sounds just really nice and full. Okay, and again, that's just a B sus chord. And that version would sound like this. Okay, and like I said, I'll have all that stuff tabbed out for you in the chord charts and everything like that. And also I'll include the capos. Okay, so the first version with the D chord will be played with the capo on the 3rd fret. And then to keep it all in key, if you were to play this E major version, then you'd want to have your capo on the 1st fret. Okay, and also just let me know if you guys have any questions as we go on. Drop those in the comments and all that kind of stuff. And I'll make sure to answer those. And also maybe that this is something I could cover in a future lesson, just like why those are in the same key, even though they're, you know, capos on the different frets and things like that. I'd be happy to do that for you guys. But I need those requests to come in. So like I said, drop in a comment. So the next tune that I want to cover is going to be the song I played on the intro, which is Rumble by Link Wray. And if you've ever watched the movie Pulp Fiction, it's that the song that plays when they go and have the $5 milkshake and they do the boogie woogie to the Chuck Berry song, the dance competition. Anyways, one of my favorite movies of all time. I really like that tune, that movie I should say, and I really like this tune here. So another one of these song examples that doesn't require complicated strumming, doesn't require super fast chord changes, and it sounds awesome. Okay, and it also has a cool little run there at the end. So that's actually an E minor pentatonic scale, just a one slight variation, but it's like pretty much an E minor pentatonic scale. So it'll get you a scale in there, get you like ripping through a scale. It's just such a great tune. It will also kind of teach you a 12-bar blues. And yeah, this shuffle beat, but so anyways, we've actually talked about a couple of these chords already, which is awesome. So we're gonna start out on our D sus2, which we saw in that one version of the Tom Petty song. Okay, and there it is. But what sounds so awesome about this chord is actually if you strum it from the A string. And as you can hear, it really fills out and sounds big. And I always bring up my thumb here so I can cover that low E string, so I can really strum through those chords without worrying about hitting that low E string. Okay, so 2 strums on that D sus2 with the A and the bass. And then we go over to our E major chord. And strum that out once. So complete, so finalized. If you caught that intro, how I was playing it, I was just kind of filling it in. Then we're going to go to an A major chord. May as well use that one finger to cover your D string, G string, and B string. Then we go right back to our D, D, E. So this is definitely the hardest chord in this lesson here today. It's going to be a B7. Okay, looks like this. I kind of think about forming a triangle with my second, first, and third fingers on the A string, D string, G string. B string is left open, and our pinky finger gets put on the second fret of the high E. But even if you get that triangular shape, that's already going to get you going on in the right area and you know, get some damage down in the right zones. And a really important little lead up is to go 0, 1, 2. Now, I really want you to catch that because I teach this song to a lot of students for all the benefits, and I've only listed a few of them, but this song has a lot of benefits. Don't miss that little lead in because that's what sets up the whole chord. Hit that chord, that note on the right time, and you can kind of just sprinkle out the rest of the notes. And that's exactly how Link Wray played it in his track, right? And then we gear up for our descending E minor pentatonic scale, one of the easiest scales to play. Okay, and that's the only tweak that he does. A minor pentatonic scale would finish on the 3rd fret. Our man Link would have done it on on his 2nd fret there. But anyways, so 3rd fret, open, 3rd fret, open, 2nd fret, open, 2nd fret, open, 2nd fret, open, 2nd fret, open. Okay? It's going to be awesome for you to work on that and get that all sped up and up to speed. So start slow. And you will get that faster, just keep on cycling it. So guys, those are the 3 tunes that I wanted to show you here today. I love all 3 of these songs, and I've taught them a lot to our one-to-one students and included them in some videos over the years too, because there's just so many benefits to those. So I really want to emphasize my 6-step system to strumming. And this is slotted right in there, kind of between the power chord section and this full-on strumming and switching chords section. This is a great way to start getting your fingers on chords, getting everything activated, getting everything clear, and it's just a fun way to practice. So I'm sure that you can see that this is sure gonna beat just, you know, playing chords over and over and not playing anything. Like, you can actually apply your chords, apply your strumming, get some chords memorized, get some rhythms happening, right? Like, that's really the big thing. We're getting some rhythmic action going on here, and we are absolutely playing music. And that's what I want to help you with. So, like I said, grab that PDF. I'll have everything all along there, all the chords, the scales, the tabs, everything that you need to go along with this lesson. Just take a minute. I really appreciate for you to check out my program, Stairway to Strumming. I've got a whole page all with a video and everything, a full breakdown. It's a whole bunch of content for you to read through. And like I said, you can get that for over 50% off. It's just 47 bucks. So if you would just take a moment to check that out, I'd really appreciate that, because that's our full-fledged system. Like, it goes from A to Z, 0 to hero. You know, like, starts you out from the utmost total basics, and we'll bring you all the way through strumming chords, bar chords, even arpeggiating chords, and doing everything that you need there. Also finger picking, like how to strum without a pick, how to strum with a pick, how to play all of your major and minor chords in up to 3 different ways without thinking of it. On and on and on and on. It's a very robust course, so it's something I really believe in. And hopefully you pick something from this lesson. Stay tuned for some future ones. And until then, keep on ripping it up. Thanks for tuning in.